This is News Desk, and I'm grateful for your company. Now, it's been close to a year when several structures, including mostly homes of Ghanaians, were pulled down somewhere in Adjei Kojo sometime January 2014. So, yeah, it is a year. Now, the demolition exercise rendered about 3,000 residents in the area, which is at the heart of the Tema West constituency, homeless. A year down the line, our cameras are back there, find out what has changed, how people are picking up the pieces. You recall that the residents who lost their home stayed there for a couple of weeks because they had nowhere to go. Matilda Omega, who's been on this beat since January 2014, is back there and she's joining me over the telephone. Hello, Matilda. And we just lost Matilda there, but we would raise her over the telephone again and bring you that story. But you could take a look at what happened sometime January 2014. Look at this. So January 2014, there was wailing and weeping in Adjei Kojo when the Tema Development Corporation razed down dozens of homes because, well, within that metropolis. And I was telling you that over 3,000 persons were affected. The TDC said that those lands belonged to them and they were reclaiming them. A year down the line, what has changed in the area? Matilda Omega, who's been on this beat since 2014, is back there and she's joining me over the telephone with some detail. Hello, Matilda.
Hello, Kenny.
What can you report?
When we got here this morning, we realized that most of the residents have left here. Not left here completely. It's just a handful of them who are still here. About 5 families, I should say, are living in some tents. The tents which are provided by NADMO. Some are still living in these tents. Others are also making do with their uncompleted structures within the neighborhood. And some too have crossed the other side of the river where others have settled for fear of not being victimized. But there's security personnel who still do come here often. But what I find here too, it looks like some form of development will start taking momentum. I've said concrete, sand, most of these things being brought here by the trucks, and it looks like a work start here. We do not know what work exactly is going to take place here, but from what I gathered from residents, they are telling me they hear it's the TDC who is making some development here, but they do not know exactly what this is going to be used for. So, but for some of these residents, let me say the diehards, they are still here making their lives. They do not have any plans of leaving until these issues are addressed, even though it's 1 year and most of them are still living in very deplorable states. They do not really, they are still going to continue living here. So as we have just finished interacting with some of the residents, we are moving straight to the Chief Palace, where sometime last month I spoke to the chief, where they told me they have plans to go into the court. We would want to find out from them how far with those plans, because they were showing me some new documents I do not really understand, but they tell me it's a forgery and all that. So we want to find out exactly what is the state of their court actions that they told me they were going to embark on.
Great. What are some of the stories the remaining residents are sharing with you?
It looks like nobody is hearing of them again. Some of us thought they had all left the area because if you look at this place, it's grown. It's full of weed trees. You can't even locate them. They are just hidden amongst the bushes here. And apart from the fact that they are living in very poor states where access to potable water, places of convenience and all that, where some of them are living with their kids and still live, it's in a very bad state. They do not have people even coming around to support them as it used to be some time back.
So what is their story about how they are managing without these things?
Yes, so for now what they do is early morning, go to the main township, let's say Adjei. Some of them are into new business, trading, and then they come back here in the evening to get something for their families. That is the only way they are making it. Some are also into stone quarrying. Others are into their own businesses, which could sustain them for a while, because for them, they do not have money to rent now. So they would only try and manage their own, make sure that their families are a bit comfortable in where they live now.
Are there any children still living in those tents?
There are a handful of the kids around. Like I told you, about 5 of the families are still at the exact place where the buildings were demolished. I've spotted kids around here who didn't go to school. I do not know for what reason, but I've seen some of them loitering about. And I spoke to the mothers who told me, yes, their husbands have gone to town to go about with their businesses and all that. They'll be back in the evening to take care of the family.
Well, later in subsequent broadcasts, we'll share some pictures with our viewers. But you are there. Paint us a picture of what it looks like for those residents at the moment. How habitable is this place?
No, it's nothing close to a place someone should call a home. If I should compare the Liberian refugee camp to this place, I should say this place is looking more or less like a refugee camp, and it's nothing close. You can't even spot them. You won't even be able to tell that people are actually living here, because you will have to drive past the I should say, where you'll find them within the spots where some hidden among the bushes. If you ask them why are they hiding here or what, they tell you, look, it's not like it's 1 year and everything has down. We still have some of the security men who come here from one point and disturb us. They even told me that just last 2 months they came here to pull away some of the tents, and I thought the security men have already left here, but I'm told no, they're still around. They come here once a while, so you can't really tell what exactly is happening. But for them, they are still going to continue living here, because they've had some assurances from the chief that indeed they are going to embark on a court action. So we want to find out exactly what the state is now.
Very well, we'll leave it here for now. We'll continue this conversation on News Today. Matilda Homega is back at Adjei Kojo, where she reports that a handful of the residents are still there, living in the tents provided for them after their homes were razed down. She observes that it's a totally uninhabitable area. It's not suitable for anybody to call a home. But that's it for the hour. I'd like to know what you think about the broadcast today. Facebook.com/Joy News on TV, or Kemini Nyamani Amana also on Facebook, or tweet us at Joy News on TV or at Kemini, and we'll be glad you got in touch. Thanks for your company this hour. My name is Kemini Nyamani Amana. I'll see you again on News Today. Bye bye for now.